بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Hello my dear students. This is Mr. Hussein Ramadan with you. Welcome to a new lesson in our new book this year, the Mega Goal 1 for the first secondary students. We are still in Unit 1, Big Changes. Today we are going to have part 2 in Lesson 2. Today we have another grammatical rule in the English, which is the simple past tense. We have a comparison between the simple past tense and the present perfect tense. Let us begin with simple past tense. When can I use the simple past tense? Use the simple past tense to talk about events that began and ended in the past, something that happened and ended in the past. Use the simple past tense to tell a story in the past, such as the Russians launched the first artificial satellite in 1957. Look at this table for the form of the simple past. With all subjects, whether they are singular or plural, use one form, which is the past of the verb or the verb to. How can I get the verb to or the shape number 2 of the verb, the past of the verb? We can divide verbs in English into two parts, regular verbs and irregular verbs. Regular verbs, we add D, ED, or IED at the end of regular verbs to get the past of it, such as moved, walked, played, studied. Here, the verb move ends with E, so we add D at the end of it. However, the verb walk doesn't end with E, so we need ED, the both letters. Here, the verb study, the infinitive of it is study with Y, preceded by a consonant. So, we omit the letter Y and add IED. So, the regular verbs in the past has the end D, ED, or IED according to the end of it. When negative, we use did not or didn't with the infinitive. So, we get didn't for negative and get the verb back into its infinitive, such as moved. It will be didn't move, the infinitive from move, and so on. In the question, we begin with did, followed by the subject and the infinitive, the verb again. We get it back into its infinitive because we have did in the past. Did, subject, infinitive, and the complement. Did you play football yesterday? And so on. What about irregular verbs? Irregular verbs that are verbs that change in their transferring into the second shape and the third shape, such as these verbs. But there is a problem with the students that they can't keep the old shapes of the irregular verbs. Now I get today the key for you to keep the irregular verbs easily. What is this secret to keep the irregular verbs easily? Yeah, you can divide it or divide the verbs into some groups according to the similarity of the transferring into the second shape and the third shape, such as the following: swim, swam, swum; run, ran, run; sing, sang, sung; drink, drank, drunk. As you have listened now, these verbs in the first group in black, they have the same or they have similar transferring and similar pronunciation. The next one: buy, bought, bought; catch, caught, caught; fight, fought, fought; teach, taught, taught. So they have the similar pronunciation. So you can keep them at all easily, but take care of O or A. Know, knew, known; throw, threw, thrown; Draw, drew, drawn. Fly, flew, flown, and so on. It's another group. You can keep it easily as a whole. The verb that doesn't change ever: cut, cut, cut. Shut, shut, shut. Hit, hit, hit. Put, put, put. It's another group to keep it carefully. So if you divide the irregular verbs into groups, you can keep it easily. Study these additional examples. The Russians launched. Here, the verb lunch, we add ed at the end of it because it ends with ch. And we can add ed at the verb that ends with ch, sh, ss, o, x, and z. The negative will be didn't, and we get the verb lunch into its infinitive. Didn't lunch. The question will be beginning with the did, followed with the subject, the Russians, and the infinitive, and so on. Now, test your information and your understanding related to this grammatical rule. She blanked her bedroom yesterday. We have the keyword yesterday expresses that something happened and ended in the past. So, we are talking about the past simple tense or the simple past tense. The verb is tidy. Tidy is regular verb, but it ends with y preceded by a consonant. So, what are we going to do? Yes, that's right. To omit the letter y and to add ied. Yes, the sentence will be she tidied her bedroom yesterday. Let's transfer into the other tense we have today, which is the present perfect tense. The present perfect tense is considered one of the group of the past tenses. Why? Because we can use the present perfect to talk about an indefinite time in the past. Many countries, such as something happened in the past, but at an indefinite time, or something that have just happened. Many countries have launched satellites into space. Here we have the verb to have in present followed with the past participle or the verb in the third shape. Also, use the present perfect to talk about events that began in the past and continue into present, such as when you are talking about your learning, your education, your school. You have begun it in the past, but it continues now into the present, such as the United States has launched many astronauts into space since 1969, and it hasn't stopped till now. So, look at the table that clarifies the form of the present perfect. In the statement with the verb, with the subjects I, you, we, and they, we use the verb to have in present, which is have, followed by the past participle or the verb in the third shape, or we can call it PP, abbreviation of past participle. With subjects, singular or singular subjects such as he, she, and it, we use the verb to have, which is has, followed by PP. So, with I, you, we, and they, we use have. With he, she, and it, we use has. Have played. Has played. For negative, we just put not after verb to have. Have to be, have not, or haven't. Has to be, has not, or hasn't, followed by the past participle of the verb or the verb in the third shape or PP. Haven't played. So the affirmative is, or the statement is have played, the negative is haven't played. With the singular, has played, the negative is hasn't played. For question, we begin with the verb to have itself. Have with I, you, we, and they, followed by the subject, the PP, and the complement of the sentence. Have you seen Ali recently? Has for the singular, he, she, and it. We begin with has, followed by subject, past participle, and the complement. Now, study these additional examples. Here, the subject is many countries, which is plural. So we get have, that's right, followed by PP. And the negative will be haven't, followed by BP. The question begins with have followed by the subject, the PP, and the complement of the sentence. Have many countries launched satellites in space? But with singular, we use has followed by the past participle. In the negative, has is turned into hasn't, followed by the past participle. And for question, we begin with has, the subject, the past participle, and the complement of the sentence. Test your information. Revise your understanding. We blank games for an hour. Here, the word for is considered one of the key words for the simple present perfect. So we need the present perfect form, which is have or has plus PP. The subject here is plural, so we need have played. That's right. Now, this is an understanding related to the tenses we have studied just now, which are the simple past and the present perfect. Number one, Zain blank his friends at club yet. The word yet is expresses the present perfect, but it expresses also the negative. So it put me in a corner that needs present perfect and negative as well. So the answer will be hasn't met. Zain hasn't met his friends at the club yet. Number two, Lemmy and Lana blank match cartoons recently. Recently is a keyword also for present perfect. Lemmy and Lana are plural, so they need have with the past participle. So the answer will be have watched. Number three, that's a question. Blank he blank to Dubai. Have he traveled? Has he traveled? Has he traveled? Yes. Here we have, but it doesn't go with he because he is a singular subject. Here we have has, that's right, but the verb isn't in the past participle, it's an infinitive. So the whole form is wrong. But the right form is has with the past participle of the verb. So the answer will be has traveled. The whole question will be has he traveled to Dubai? Number four, we blank the new project 3 days ago. The word ago expresses the simple past. So we need the past of the verb, just it. If it is a regular verb, we need D or ED or IED. But if it is an irregular verb, we have to keep them as we learn this lesson. So we have visited doesn't go because it's a present perfect, not a simple past. Has visited is a present perfect as well. Yes, visited. If the past of the verb visit, so it's right. The whole sentence will be we visited the new project 3 days ago. That's for now. We have finished our lesson today. I hope you can get benefit from this lesson. Waiting for you for the next lesson inshallah. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
مدارس رياض الصالحين، مستقبل واعد لجيل صاعد.